You're listening to BBC Local Radio and BBC Sounds. This week's Hindu Reflection looks at what the ancient Vedic scriptures say about fear and how we can overcome it.
Hari Om, Namaste. My name is Puneet. I work as an IT consultant. I am also Vice President for Hindu Forum of Britain's Scotland chapter, board member of Edinburgh Hindu Temple. I will start with a powerful healing Sanskrit mantra. I am joined by my 8.5-year-old daughter Arya. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmeva Vandanam Mrityurmokshiyamamritam. This is the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, presented itself in Rig Veda and Yajur Veda. This is also called the Great Death Conquering Mantra. The meaning of this mantra is, Om, we worship the three-eyed Trayambaka, that is Lord Shiva, who is pregnant and who increases our nourishment. Free us from all bondage and liberate us from death to immortality. So the Mahamrityunjaya mantra can help us tune into healing forces, which is always present within us, supporting our life growth, lifting us up in times of trouble like we are facing currently with the COVID crisis, and also reminding us of our higher aim in life. So this last 4 months or so, we have seen the world has come to stand still. The world community is under vice grip of fear, making people extremely anxious and restless about their own safety and that of their friends and loved ones. I believe it is one of the most difficult situations of our lifetime, which affect whole of humanity. So the greatest suffering of human currently is fear, the fear of death. In general, fear is the most greatest suffering of everyone. So be it a fear of death, fear of loss of reputation or wealth, or fear of failure. Today in my reflection, I am going to share with you the Hindu dharmic explanation of fear and how we can overcome this fear and live peacefully. So what is fear? Fear is natural emotion and intrinsic response to a perceived imaginary threat. We experience both physical and mental fear in our life because this is a natural response of a human being to have fear. However, comparatively, our mental fear are more problematic than the physical fear because it is triggered in our mind rather than the actual event. Suppose when we watch horror movie, the anticipation, the music before the bad guy comes up is more scary than the bad guy himself who comes up with a weird makeup. So we can say the fear of death is more fearful than the death itself. Unlike other religions, our Sanatan Dharma, Hinduism, asks us not to fear death. For us, death is temporary, it's natural. Sri Bhagwan Krishna in the battlefield of Mahabharata says to Arjuna, if you are born, you have to die. The soul of self is eternal, which is not born and will not die. It just simply moves from one form to another form, seeking enlightenment and eventually merging with the Supreme Eternal Spirit, Paramatma, the Supreme Lord. According to our Hindu philosophy, we have lived and died millions of times, and some of us may have died peacefully, others may have suffered and died due to disease or sudden death. So all these fears we have are remnants of our past. So what does our scriptures and our Hindu philosophy say about overcoming fear? Fear can be overcome with faith. So when you have this attitude, leave it to God. When you trust God, you overcome fear. Lack of trust to oneself and in the supreme divine results in fear. Just think about it. There is a divine power which controls everything. The movement of the earth, the gravity, everything is so aligned. There's some divine power which is controlling. So, to overcome fear, our scripture says, have faith in God and leave it to Him. He will take care of us. And the other way to overcome fear is by acquiring knowledge. Ignorance causes a lot of fear in mind. If you read and become a learned person, you overcome fear. So read our scriptures and become spiritually enlightened. And once you are spiritually enlightened, fear automatically goes away. And one of the other thoughts, again from Bhagavad Gita, to overcome fear is to believe in law of karma. Karma are carried forward from our present as well as from our past lives. Hindu philosophy asks us to reconcile ourselves to the predestined situations or the circumstances. We cannot change the situation or the circumstances because these are not in our control. What we can do is take actions. It does not mean that if you cannot control a situation, you will just close your eyes and live in fear and think that the situation will go away, the bad situation will go away. That's not right. Our scripture says we must do our karma, the duty, and strive to deliver our best and never attach ourselves to the results. So once you fear for the results, the consequences of your action, once you have detached yourself from the results, you will have no fear. So during this pandemic, on the prevailing condition, Hindu philosophy very aptly fits here. As you know, the scientists and medical experts are striving to develop drugs, vaccine to fight the coronavirus. As an individual, we should also observe the guidelines, the government guidelines, take precautions to safeguard ourselves without getting into fear. Remember, God help those who help themselves. So, without fear, keep doing your duty and have faith in God. Everything will be alright. We have to fear one thing, that is fear itself. As Swami Vivekananda ji said, fear is death, fear is sin, fear is hell, fear is unrighteousness, fear is wrong life. All negative thoughts and ideas that we are in world have proceeded from this evil spirit of fear. So I will end here with a peace prayer for everyone's well-being. Arya will join me. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the meaning of this prayer is Om, may all be happy, may all be free from illness, may all see what is auspicious, may no one suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you. Namaste.